Hey, Dr. Karen Can here, and today I want to talk to you about brain balancing. Well, what does that actually mean? Well, years ago in my medical practice, I'm now retired, what I noticed that people were not healing very well. And when we would use acupuncture, energetic therapies, in addition to whatever holistic medical therapies, it would work a lot better. But then there was like that 5% of people who still wouldn't respond, or if they responded, it would be good for 2 days after acupuncture and then back to baseline, and then better for 2 days after acupuncture, then back to baseline. And the improvements were just like a snail's pace. That wasn't good enough for me. So I was trying to figure out, how can I help these people heal faster and deeper without them, spending fortune on therapy like every day. So what I discovered was that these LifeWave phototherapy patches, especially this one, the Eon phototherapy patch, which helps with stress and inflammation, can actually help to balance the nervous system within a few minutes, sometimes seconds. And the person can put it on their body for 12 hours a day and get that brain balancing effect for that whole time. The problem with acupuncture is that, well, for some of these difficult people, it just didn't last. So what if they could stimulate an acupuncture point and get the phototherapy benefits of a particular patch, in this case, stress and inflammation reduction, all day long? Well, that was the pièce de résistance. That worked. So for that 5%, those 5% of people who were not responding, who weren't getting better faster, or were flip-flopping back and forth between getting better, not getting better, but getting better, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, those people, they finally started to get better. So that's why I was so excited about my brain balancing protocol. I won't even tell you how much I spent, tens of thousands of dollars on a video in a joint venture with Biography TV to get that message out there, the importance of brain balancing. And I also put it in a chapter of my Guide to Healing Chronic Pain book as well. Went to a #1 bestseller on Kindle. So now we have something called the Advanced Brain Balancing Protocol, courtesy of my colleague and friend, Dr. Dennis Lobstein. First, let's share with you what happens when your brain is not balanced versus balanced. So when the brain is not balanced, what happens is that the right and left hemispheres of the brain are not communicating well together. That is a stress response. If you are left brain dominant, you can actually have the stress showing up as like tight muscles. You kind of look stressed, you're like, go, 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 and that kind of thing. And you're into this over logical mind almost, like you're just thinking. Okay. That's your typical left brain dominant stress response, not brain balanced. The typical, and this is generalizations only, the typical right brain stress response that I've noticed in my practice over years is the kind of person who, when stressed, kind of just withdraws. Like they just kind of disappear. Nothing to see here. Yeah. So they tend to like space out. They go into overwhelm, and then they just like are useless. Like the left brain dominant stress people are like, go, they gotta do something more, right? And I was very much like that before. The right brain people can hack the stress that way. They don't go into thinking. They just like get so messed up, they just aren't thinking. And so they just don't do anything. And they're just in complete overwhelm. And they just kind of look like, knock, knock, anybody home? Okay. So that's severe. But those are the kind of cases that I used to see: left brain dominant, right brain dominant. The brain is not what I call balanced. There's a third component to brain balance, and that is the rest of the autonomic nervous system, that runs all the automatic functions of your body, the sweat, the pupillary, diameter, your digestion, your heart, your breathing, right? Those are automatic. You don't have to think about breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, heartbeat, breathe in, breathe out, right? So those are automatic functions. So it's part of the autonomic nervous system. And what can happen is that this autonomic nervous system can go into a freeze response or a fight or flight response. Okay, let me repeat that: freeze or fight or flight. Now, people know about fight or flight, right? So fight, even fight and flight is kind of like that, active, combative kind of stress response, similar to what we're talking about in the left brain, but we're talking now about not just the brain, but the whole autonomic nervous system. And then the freeze response is a little bit more of that, similar to the right brain dominant, except that in this case, you are just blocked from healing. You are just blocked because your nervous system, very important for healing, right? To control other parts of the body. Nothing happens. It is frozen in time. So if somebody's had a head injury, if they've had like an inflammation in the brain, if they've had, autoimmune, which affects the brain. Head injury I used to see quite a bit. We have quite a few skiers here where I live, and I myself have had multiple head injuries. So you can easily test the brain balance in someone by muscle testing, which I used to do in the office in person, or I could do it remotely as well for people, people that are practitioners that I train know how to do that as well. So I won't repeat that here because there is a YouTube video about that. But what I do want to share with you is the advanced brain balancing protocol. We're going to first take a look at the original brain balancing protocol, right? The different acupuncture points and locations that we would be using. Now, if you don't already have my brain balancing protocol, the original, okay, just get a copy of it. There is a new download on my website, patchtrainingteam.com. And you'll see this little picture here, brain balancing protocol. It is the kind of like the second edition of that chapter that is in the Guide to Healing Chronic Pain book. And it uses the 𝗂𝘗 patches. So let's go over some of the points, the acupuncture points that you can use. Now, it's less important that you memorize what the names of the points are and what they do according to Chinese medicine, but it's more important to get the principles that these points specifically for this brain balancing protocol is in the head and neck area. The 𝗂𝘗 patch is a positively charged patch, which means that generally speaking, it goes on the midline of the body or on the right-hand side. Now, there are times where we do put the 𝗂𝘗 on the left-hand side of the body when there is injury, inflammation, but we're not going to talk about that today, because today we're going to talk about the 𝗂𝘗 brain balancing protocol and the advanced protocol. So what you do is you take your 𝗂𝘗, and it is a single phototherapy patch. Nothing goes through the skin. No chemicals, nothing. It all works with light. And you're going to adhere it to one of these points that you see on the screen. Now, a lot of people like to do this protocol at first at night. That's what Dr. Dennis mentioned that he recommends people, because sometimes people can detoxify gently. They can feel a little sleepy. Or I say, do it during the day if you really want to like zone out and, relax. At this point, I being using patches for 17 years now, 16 years now. I don't really get a vigorous detox reaction, so I don't get tired or sleepy. I just feel focused. So I do wear mine during the day. But for the brain balancing protocol, a lot of people, because these points are not points that generally people want to go to the store with. Of course, people have other things on their faces these days, so who cares, right? You can use it at night. So let's go over these points. The first point is right in the center of the forehead. That is Governor Vessel 25.6 or 26.5, something like that. I think it's 26.5. Sorry, just lost my acupuncture points here. And so that point connects with multiple organs in the head, including the pineal gland, pituitary, hypothalamus, are all in that area. So you're stimulating there. You're also stimulating what's called the third eye. And so this is a really, really great point, especially for sleeping. And if you happen to have sinus inflammation up here, that may help, because this does decrease stress and inflammation. It's clinically shown to do that. So you would just stick that on your head for 12 hours a night or 12 hours a day. Now, if you're saying to me, well, Dr. Karen, I don't sleep 12 hours, I understand. So what time do you wake up in the morning? So if you wake up at 8 a.m. in the morning, put it on at 8 p.m. at night. So set yourself a little alarm on your smartphone or whatever to put patches on for that 12 hours, so you don't waste the extra, energy in the patches. Use it for the whole 12 hours. So that's one of the points, and one of the popular points to use at night. it's right in the middle, stimulates all these wonderful endocrine hormonal glands you have in the head, and has that spiritual third eye, activation as well. The other really popular point is behind the right ear. Now, most people will have some hair there. So what you're looking for is the hairless part. So see if I can show you. Now, what I want you to do is make sure you put it behind the ear a little ways so that the edge of the patch doesn't dig into to the crease, because that can be really uncomfortable. So put it on the bone and just, it doesn't have to be a precise point, okay? You're like, oh, is it 𝗵𝘂? Is it 𝗵𝘂𝘶𝗵𝘠? Doesn't matter, just put it there. Remember, it's the right side, okay, right side. And this is actually really, really good if somebody has nervousness symptoms during the day. They're kind of scared, fearful, that kind of thing. It's really good for that. Also very calming point. I like to use it because it's out of my way, and people don't even know that I'm wearing it. It keeps me focused and calm during the day. So that's a really great point. The next point I want to cover is the one on the top of the head. So that is up here. Okay, 𝗄𝘪𝘳𝘁𝗆. Let me show you how to find that. Tip of the ears, make a imaginary line right to the top of your head, okay, and poke around at the center. You'll actually feel a little bump there in the middle. That's your suture line. And for me, there it is. Okay, I have a slightly sore spot. That is the point. Now, people can say, well, can I just use acupressure there to get the same effects? Yes and no. You can definitely stimulate the point, but you're not going to get that anti-inflammation and anti-stress of the patch. And of course, you're not going to stick your hand up here 12 hours a day, right? I mean, maybe you will, but I won't, because I need my hands for typing. Anyway, so eon patch, stick here. How do you stick it there without pulling your hair out? A couple of things. You can put tape, like gentle paper tape, and place it up there. You can use a headband. I prefer either plastic or fabric, not metal, because metal headbands can reflect electromagnetic radiation, like from cell phones, Wi-Fi, things like that, and then concentrate them in the structures next to them, which of course is your brain. That's not what you want to do. So fabric or plastic, and fabric is preferred because we don't want anything too tight and squishing you, right? The other thing you can do is use bobby pins. There are some bobby. Do you guys know what bobby pins are? Are you old enough to know what bobby pins are? Yes. Okay. So some of the 13-year-olds are like, what? What's that? Sorry, you guys know. I'm just making fun of you. There's also these clips with little rubberized clips that my friend Anna and team member like to use. Those are awesome as well, because they literally clip around like almost 3/4 of the patch, and they're very, very steady and stable. The other thing you can do is put it on the inside of a hat. All right, so you can't see it. It's on the inside of a cap or a hat or a beanie. Doesn't have to touch your head. Okay, it can be this far away. It still works. And nobody knows you're wearing it. These are great for the guys that wear hats, right? And they don't want people to know what they have on. So that's one option. And what I generally do is I just take half the sticker backing off. Now the whole patch is working, people. Okay, don't cut the patch in half. The whole patch is working. Just take half the sticker backing off, just so you don't have so much hair to pull out later. So I just literally put it right on there and it balances. And sometimes I don't remember that it's there. It kind of runs out of gas after however many hours. And then I'm in the shower and I'm like, oh, I have a patch on my head. And that's one of the ways you can get it off your head easily, is when you're in the shower, there's some soap and it just, slides out much, much easier. So a little tip there. So this great point is fantastic for elevating the mood and the energy. So if you're feeling like, kind of down, tired, mood's kind of blah, this is a great pick me up. In fact, I used to call it the happy point in my acupuncture practice. Bliss point, happy point, that's what I like to call it. And again, 12 hours a day. This is a good one to do during the day. At night, sometimes, people lose it because they're tossing and turning, or it's uncomfortable when their hair is moving. The other point I want to show you is on the back of the neck. So if you just feel the bump at the back of your neck, that's 𝗄𝘪𝘳𝘁𝗆. You can put the eon patch there, day or night, again, 12 hours. This point is very popular because it's actually in the LifeWave brochures as a really great point. And this point actually connects to all the yang channels of the upper shoulders and arms. So those are the channels, the acupuncture channels that go on the outside of the arms. So this is a nice point, also releases heat. So some people with, a lot of heat up here, this is a good point to use as well. There's other points for, flashing heat things for women, but that is a clear heat point, just FYI. So that's a great point to use. Now you can tweak that point a little bit. Let me see if I can find my plastic skull here. Hang on. Oh boy, it's way, way, way back here. Hang on. Okay. Come on. All right. Yeah, you can tell I was really prepared. Anyway, so here's my plastic skull. So that point is right here in the bone, but if you go all the way up, and here's your occiput, right? The bump on the back of your neck. If you go in the center line, there is a dip right under that. That is gumner vessel 16. It's a wind protection point. And if I'm feeling like, some wind hit me, I feel like I'm getting a little sniffles, some cold symptoms, I will patch that. The other points I'll patch, by the way, are, on the side of it, gallbladder 20 with Ice Wave. But this is a really great one, prevention for me, because I tend to be sensitive to wind. So if I'm out and about, I know it's windy out, even though I have head covering and everything, sometimes I'll just go ahead and patch my Aeon right on the hair. And like I said, it doesn't have to be really close to the skin, but it sticks. So right on the hair, right in that notch there, gumner vessel 16. So that is a tweak. And the last point I want to show you is the thymus point. So I'm going to step back a little bit. And here's your sternal notch right here, okay? And this is the center of the chest. So what you want to do is about a third down. If you poke down your breastbone, you'll actually feel a little bump. That's the manubrial sternal joint or sternal manubrial joint. Depends how you want to say it. And it's around there. So that's around conception vessel 19. Why do I like this point? Well, it also brain balances, although there's a small percentage of people where it's not close enough to the head to brain balance. So, you see what works for you, how you feel the best. But this is a great one because you know what's underneath here? The thymus. Yeah, the thymus gland, one of your immune glands. So, and your immune gland, apparently, the thymus shrinks as the #1 organ that shrinks when you're stressed, which is probably why children have a big one when they're born and adults have 0 or none. They just thought that was normal. Guess what? It's not normal. It's not normal not to have a thymus gland, but it shrinks because of stress. So what we want to do is just patch right over there. So that is your original brain balancing protocol. So how is the advanced one different? Well, what we normally recommend with the original is, or what Dr. Dennis likes to recommend is 2 weeks, every single night or day, patching, rotating through all the different points. And you can make some up. There's also one above the ear here, but I just found it kind of difficult to use, so I took it out of the protocol. But you can use that gallbladder 8 point as well. So, anything on that right side or the center line. So say you're like, hey, can I brain balance using a thyroid point? Like right here in the sternal notch. The answer is yes, you can. So really, you could have 7 points here, right? Like if you used the tweaks, right? You could have 7 points and do a different point a day. Whatever it is, just rotate through them for 2 weeks straight. And then for the advanced, what you're going to do next is then you're going to use X39. So X39 is our phototherapy stem cell patch. The original one, our flagship product, it helps to activate stem cells. Stem cells help to repair any part of your body. So very, very important to have that ability, isn't it? To get your stem cells younger, healthier, more like when you're, 20-something years old, 30-something years old, so that you can repair your body faster. So what you're going to do is exactly the same protocol as the Aeon, for 1 to 2 weeks, right? Now, do you have to do 2 weeks each? No, it depends on what's going on with you. The older you are, the more problems, complexity you have, the more patience you have, go ahead and do each of these for 2 weeks. So 2 weeks with the Aeon, rotating through the points, 1 a night, not all of them, 1 a night, okay? And then the next 1 to 2 weeks, you're going to take your X39, do exactly the same thing. Okay, rotate through the different points. 2 weeks, 1 to 2 weeks. Then, okay, third different kind of patch, you have the X49 patch. Now, the X49 is in pre-launch as of this recording, so I don't have the fancy packaging for you. But X49 is also a stem cell enhancing patch. However, it activates a different peptide that you already make in your body, making it, higher levels. AHK copper peptide, whereas X39 is GHK copper peptide, and AHK copper peptide is found in specific tissues of the body, not everywhere, like the GHK. So AHK actually helps with cardiovascular. That means heart, blood vessels, etc. Brain, which is what we're, talking about today. Also muscles. It also concentrates in bone, and people have noticed, hair growth, things like that. So what we want to do is do the X49. Guess what? For 1 to 2 weeks. You got it. So you're going to rotate through all the points again, and don't worry about getting it wrong. Just do a different point each night, and then make a note if there's certain points where you feel better the next day. Just make a note. Is it the center of your forehead? Is it the one behind your ear? Is it, here? Because after you do this whole protocol, you can go back and, still patch those of your favorite 2 or 3 on a regular basis, ongoing after the protocol. So now you've got 6 weeks, right? 3 to 6 weeks. Last but not least, carnosine patches. So the carnosine is something that helps to protect the cells, the brain cells. Actually, in mice is shown to increase longevity, which is very, very interesting, about 30%. And actually, carnosine itself is an antioxidant you make in your body, and it helps protect the telomeres, which are like the end caps of your DNA, from degradation. So there's lots of great things that carnosine does, including athletic performance. X49 does that. But here's the thing, is that in this protocol, what we're doing is we're giving different signals to the brain area, really activating those acupuncture points and giving those specific signals, giving the body direction like, hey, we want you to really repair this area of the body. So you're going to do exactly the same thing for 1 to 2 weeks with the carnosine, alternating each night a different point. Okay. And again, making a note, is there a point or points that you prefer? Maybe there is, maybe there is not. And that's it. So you've got between 4 and 8 weeks of this protocol, either doing 1 week each or doing 2 weeks each. Like I said, my preference is if you have the patience and you have multiple complex problems and or conditions. Just so you know, LifeWave doesn't claim to treat, cure, or prevent any medical condition. But if you have a chronic medical condition, you may need more support, and it may take longer. Not always, but it may take longer. So 2 weeks for each of those. So 2 times 4 is 8 weeks in total for the advanced protocol. I would love for you, if you're listening to this and watching this, please type in, just say whether or not you're going to try this protocol. And if you've already tried this protocol, definitely put in the comments what your reaction was. How did you feel? What was your thinking like? If you had brain fog, was it gone? Were you more alert? Did you have better sleep? Did you feel a happier mood? Were you able to remember things? That's one of the key things a lot of people say. They think they're, oh my gosh, I'm 40 something, I'm getting Alzheimer's. And I'm like in the medical office going, no, you're not getting Alzheimer's. Okay. You're just overwhelmed with stress. Now, there could be toxins and other things as well. But they do the brain balancing protocol. And back then I only had Eon. Right? I didn't, use this other advanced stuff. And it was amazing, like within days, they're like, oh, my brain fog's gone. I guess I don't have Alzheimer's. I'm like, told you so. So this is great. Yeah, post in the comments. Let me know if you're going to try it. Please feel free to share this video as well. This is very key to, I have found in medical practice and in my acupuncture practice, very key, that brain balancing to get everything else in the body to work, to self-heal, to really support your own self-healing mechanism. So if things aren't working, you're trying lots and lots of different things, lots of therapy, spending tens of thousands of dollars on things, and things aren't working, and especially if you have a history of a head injury, meningitis, gluten sensitivity, because you're going to have all sorts of toxic stuff going in the brain, or any sort of brain injury, definitely do the brain balancing protocol. At the minimum, the Eon one, okay? But ideally, using all four. As of this recording, the X49 is only available in the US, the UK, and Turkey, but in 2022, we should see a worldwide rollout of that. So in conjunction with the X39, the X49 can be so helpful to just help elevate your own body's self-repair mechanism. So I highly recommend it. So if you're working with a LifeWave distributor or representative, you can go back to them and get your order done for these patches. If you don't have anyone to work with, you can certainly work with me or one of my team members. You can connect and contact us through my website for my patches called patchtrainingteam.com. So patchtrainingteam.com, that's also where you get the copy of my book. Not my book, my chapter of my book called The Brain Balancing Protocol. You can get that free download with a couple of free training videos as well. So I hope this has been super helpful. Would love you to, put in the comments about, what your reaction is to the video. Are you going to try it? Please share it. And right now, what I'm going to do is just go to the comments and see if there are any questions that I can answer since I am recording this live. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to scroll to, hey, Taylor. All right. What patches are good for lower left side swelling? Okay. Yeah, so swelling in Chinese medicine has to do with the spleen energy not being strong enough to hold the fluid in the vessels. So one of the things you can do to support the body's energy system to avoid swelling in the future is to patch spleen 6. So spleen 6 is 4 finger widths above the inside ankle. So 4 finger widths above the ankle, right behind the tibia bone. Usually it's kind of sore. So that's a good place to start. The other thing you can do is the sweep protocol, where you take an ice wave, one on each right arm right, hand on left in your hands, and then literally just sweep up that leg like 25 times, a couple of times a day. And that can be really helpful as well. So as far as what to patch with the spleen 6, you can use the ice wave after you've done the sweep, or you can use energy enhancer patches, or if you have any hormone imbalance issues, you can use an SP6 on the left and an Eon on the right. So hopefully that helps. Taylor also says for kidney blocks, there's a lot of things that you can do to support the kidneys. Basically, any kidney channel point is helpful. So a couple of them I'll show you. So energy enhancer patches, bottom of the foot, kidney 1, or kidney 3, inside ankles, white arm right, tan on left. Again, energy enhancers come in a white and a tan. So basically, they don't work unless you wear both. So wear both, but just pick one point. So either kidney 1 or kidney 3. And the more advanced one is on the back, which is bladder 23. And that's at the level of your ribs. If you go to level of your ribs and go to the center, they're just on either side of that, just like a couple inches on either side of that. So that's L2. And I actually did that today. Don't worry about getting the exact point. Use your intention, and that is around the kidneys, so that can be really helpful. So again, energy enhancers are the most versatile because there's 2 points, white on right, tan on left. May, okay, you are welcome. May says, really appreciate your knowledge and passion for LifeWave. Awesome. Taylor says, can you use a wig cap nylon sleeve to place patches for brain balance if you have a lot of hair? Absolutely. Yep, that sounds good. Some people use a buff, right? A hair buff. I have one of those too. You can do that. Lena says, do they assist with bringing in light and with the diabetes? Now, we can't claim to treat, cure, or prevent diabetes at all. What we can do is tell you that for people that have sugar imbalance in their blood, that we have found that the SP6 patch can be really helpful for that. And the X39 I would definitely use as well, because you want to do any regeneration you can in the body. So I would literally put X39 right over the pancreas on the belly. And then there is an acupuncture point that is supportive for people with diabetes. That's spleen 6. We just talked about it. And you would use SP6 on the left, because SP6 is a left hand side patch. You can use it on the center line as well, but in this case, we're using it on the left, SP6. And Lena says, assist bringing in the light. I think you're talking about this point here. In some ways, yes, right? Because you're actually even here and here because you're activating those energy centers, the 6th chakra, the 7th chakra. There is a patch we have, I don't have in front of me, but there is Nirvana, which is helpful for beta endorphins. 𝘰𝘂𝘐 as well as one of the patches. Now it's marketed for skin, but it actually activates the pineal gland. So if you're really looking for light, I would say check out the 𝘰𝘂𝘐 patch. So here's my favorite points for that. Taylor says, I still got lots of bobby pins. Okay, great. Okay, Marie says, thank you for all support showing us bonus ways for applying patches. You are very welcome. Can I use 2 𝗂𝘂 patches in different areas? Yes, you may. You may not need to for the brain balancing protocol, but one of the ways you can use double 𝗂𝘂 is to place one in the center of the chest, your heart point, or right below the sternum. That is CB15, and that is also connected to the heart point. And you're going to use the heart field, the energy field of the heart, to amplify whatever intention, positive intention you have. So say you have, say someone has inflammation in their neck, for example, and it hurts here. What you could do is put one 𝗂𝘂 patch in the center of the chest and one over the neck, over that area, to just amplify the effect and intention from your heart of what it is you want to do. The other instance where I put multiple 𝗂𝘂 patches on is if I'm doing Surround the Dragon protocol. That's actually in these slides, but it's like way back. So it's one of the things that I've taught my team and my customers. We do have special training that is called the Principles of Patching. It's a 6-module course that I gifted them as part of, to thank them for being part of my team. Anyway, there is the Surround the Dragon protocol where you can literally, if you have an inflammation, if you have like a swelling, like a localized swelling because of trauma, things like that, you can literally just circle that area with a bunch of the same patch. So a bunch of 𝗂𝘂s is really great because it decreases the inflammation, or a bunch of X39s, so that's a little pricey to do that every day, or glutathiones, for example. So you can use multiple 𝗂𝘂s, but it's not that common. Let's see here. Maria says, can you suggest a protocol for nerve damage? Oh, nerve damage. Yeah, so we talked about X49 being good for the brain and nervous system. Same thing with X39, and 𝗂𝘂s really good for balancing the energy of the brain and nervous system. So I would use those 3 patches. And as far as a protocol, really, it's like, just do the brain balancing protocol first. And then if you have a specific area that the nerve is damaged, say, for example, on diabetes, you can have a peripheral nerve damage. So you have, a foot drop on one side. You can literally put it on the nerve that is in question. Like just stick it on where the nerve goes. You can do that. And that goes for all 3, but I would probably use X39 or X49 right over the damaged nerve. I will try this protocol, Vivian says. Fantastic. Yay. Excellent. Let's see. Okay. Taylor says she's going to try it as well. Awesome. Looking forward to trying the advanced protocols. Thank you for your ongoing teachings. Your blessing. Thank you, Therese. Okay. All right. Fran says she's currently doing X39 daily and now on day 4 of X49. Fantastic. Excellent. And, you can get on my mailing list, patchtrainingteam.com, because every month, Dr. Dennis and I get together and do advanced protocols on our radio show. I know it's kind of like giving a haircut over the phone because it's radio, not video, but we've been doing it for, 10 years or something like that. So we just continue, and that's free for everyone. So you don't have to be on my team to call in and ask questions of myself or Dr. Dennis. Yes. That's where I'm at. Dr. Can, doing patches AM, chronic with Lyme. Yeah, so definitely do the brain balancing protocol advanced because Lyme's usually a chronic issue. That may be very helpful for you, Christina. Hi, Christina. Christina's my friend and acupuncturist. Christina says, excellent. Yeah, Christina knows these points off by heart better than I do. Let's see. Which combination of patches help with gout? Again, we can't take a medical diagnosis and say the patches cure, treat, or prevent that, right? So what you want to do for every medical condition that somebody might ask you about is look, what are the symptoms? So if somebody says to me, how do you patch for MS? I'm like, there's like 10 symptoms. So which ones do you have? right? And that way you do not have to be a medical doctor or an acupuncturist even to patch, because you know what each of the patches do. Let me find that slide. Sorry. There we go. So this reference chart is in the LifeWave groups. This one called, if somebody could post it, that'd be great, on Facebook. So LW stands for the LifeWave. LW, I think it's Phototherapy Patch Support Group, something like that. LW Phototherapy Support Group. There we go. That's the name of it. For those of you that are on my team, you already know there's a secret link to my group. But anyway, there is a brand new version of this that has 𝑥49 on it. This is an old slide that you can just download and distribute. Okay, we just ask that you just keep our logo here because we did the work in putting it together. But you can definitely distribute that. So yeah, so gout. What's gout, right? You don't need to know. But what's a symptom? Pain, inflammation. Got your answer already, right? So you know what patches to use. You got pain, inflammation. There's 𝗂𝑗, there's IceWave. IceWave for pain and inflammation, and really good with taking, the pain away. 𝗂𝑗's really good with inflammation and, of course, stress. And 𝑥39 is really good with repair. Also has things effects with decreasing inflammation and pain as well. So you could try any of those three things. Let's see. Taylor says, I'll patch there, do lymph sweep. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, try the lymph sweep and then patching on the spleen 6 for the swelling. Fran says, I'm doing the one patch below belly button, one in the back of the neck. Which locations you recommend for doing 49? Yeah, so if you're doing 𝑥39 and 49, apologize, there weren't any directions with the 𝑥49 in pre-launch. If you had gone to the convention, then you would have got the instructions, but basically they're really simple. Yes, you would use the exact same points as are in the brochure for 𝑥39, because that's what's studied. But you can actually use it on any point as well. So say you have, I don't know, like say you had an injury on your right leg from skiing and the muscle has not grown back there yet as big as your normal side. I would literally put the 𝑥49 right over that muscle, just to stimulate the growth. And there's acupuncture points there, right? Like stomach 36, for example, on the lower leg. Like I would actually put it on, the point that is a problem. But if you don't have a specific area that has a bone, muscle, brain, whatever injury, then you can just use the brochure points and just alternate with the 𝑥39. So if 𝑥39 is on the belly, you'd put 𝑥49 in the back, and the next day you might want to switch. Right? Now, if those points get irritated, get darkened color, itchy, that means you're overstimulating the point and you would want to just change points. And 𝑥39 and 𝑥49 can be used on any body point. So for example, if you patch below the belly button, right? The reason they have it only 2 points in the brochures is because the FDA, FTC said to all the companies, you cannot suggest other points unless you did studies on them. Okay, just because it's anecdotal doesn't count. So that's where I come in and tell you anecdotally what else you can do, right? So you can use it on CV4, for example, CV2. I mean, there's lots of points here. If you have any heart issues, breathing issues, you can put it in the chest, right? 𝑥39, 𝑥49. And the alternates for back of the neck, you can put it on that GB16 point, wind point. Back here, you can put it between the kidneys. That's a really great energy point. You have sacrum pelvic issues, put it here. If you have, nerve pain running down the leg, you can put it over your sciatic nerve. See how I said that really, really smartly, right? I didn't put a diagnosis there. So it's very, very versatile. So don't worry about making a mistake. Just try it, intuit it, and you'll be good to go. Okay, let's see. All right, so patches for chronic systemic lymphatic congestion. Yeah, so a lot of times we have to help the body repair the underlying issues that are contributing to that. So if somebody has something chronic like that, I would say definitely 𝑥39 for that overall, being able to rejuvenate the body, right? Activating those stem cells to a younger, healthier place, reversing damage to the DNA. The GHK copper peptide is known to reset the DNA, 30% of your DNA to a younger, healthier state. And that is huge. I mean, people have been trying to figure out how to do that for like decades, right? And David is just brilliant. So he figured out how you can do it with light with X39 to reset those genes to a younger, healthy state. So that should be the core of using that, and whatever point you think is helpful for that. Now, in addition to that, what I probably would recommend is the sweep protocol plus patching either spleen 6 or spleen 9. I'm talking to an acupuncturist here, so I can give you these points, right? And you can literally take ice wave on either or energy enhancers on either hand and just tape them to the right and left hands and do that sweep up the leg, 25 times on the right, 25 times on the left. You can even, use it on both sides, just sweeping from the knee to the groin, because that's where the lymph empties out into the groin. And then the other thing, this is advanced, guys, is you can go ahead and do a little circular sweep right here with the ice wave or energy patches over where the lymphatic points drain, okay, into the thoracic duct. Right here, it's very close to kidney 27, so I kind of like that. So you have a couple of points, a couple of options. You can, after you do the sweep, so both legs, groin, down to here, open these ports. The other thing you do is adhere a set of energy enhancer patches right over kidney 27 near the point or ports, right? It's because it penetrates the body about that big. So right on right, hand on left. And then you can put a second set of energy or ice wave on the spleen 6 point to support the spleen chi to get those vessels, blood vessels, to hold the fluid in so it doesn't leak out. So, so if you use those two types of patches, you would be using 2 sets, optional, but 2 sets of ice wave or energy and 1 X39 in the center line. And what you make is a beautiful 𝘠𝘵𝗶 of spinning energy, because you're making a triangle here and a triangle on the bottom. So if folks are on my team, they have not taken the Principles of Patching course, definitely go into our Facebook group or contact your upline support and just let them know to get you into that series of classes. We'll give you a student portal and you can go through step by step on all these basics, the polarity of the different patches, how to combine patches, how to make your own patching regimen. Even if you're not an acupuncturist, just by searching things on internet and how to make sacred geometric patterns with your patches so that it'll amplify the effects for you if you want to do something outside of the brochure, which is only about 20% of people really need to do that. Most people are just fine using what's in the brochure. Okay, last questions before I go. Belinda says, patches for ringing in the ears. Yeah, so there's a lot of reasons for that, but you don't actually have to need to know the reasons. So the 2 points for ringing in the ears is right in front of the ears or behind the ear on the point we talked about in the brain balancing. So depending on whatever side it is on, you could do a number of things. So if, say, it's on the left side, you can do an X39 in the front, alternating with X39 in the back. That's the simplest thing that you can do. If it's on the right side, you can do the same thing. And to start there, we have noticed that some people with injury, say loud noises in the past, people, veterans, things like that, they may benefit from the glutathione in the same areas because low glutathione levels increase the risk of nerve injury, according to some military studies. And then, of course, there's Eon as well as a possibility. So try these different points. Do give it a good go, though, because some of these ear ringing things can be quite chronic. So, try it out for at least a good 2 weeks before you decide that it didn't work and try something else. And then supporting the kidney. If it's a high-pitched ringing, you may want to support the liver by patching liver 3 right here, right on right, hand on left, energy or ice wave. And then if it is a low rumbling kind of ringing in the ears, then you can do kidney 3 on the inside, right on right, hand on left, just to support the energy system while you're working locally. Okay, thank you. Yes, you're welcome, Christina. So glad you were here today. Thank you, Vivian. Vivian says happy holidays. Okay. All right, so I didn't quite get Diane's question. It says, hi there, thank you for the protocol. What protocol for losing T? So I'm not sure what T is. Thanks. But anyways, thank you so much for joining me today, and look forward to doing some more of these with you. Thanks for all the questions. Go out and try that advanced brain balancing protocol, especially if you have any history of brain injury or brain issues, and let me know. Come back here and let me know how that worked out for you. And remember, feel free on any of the public sites, Facebook, YouTube, etc., to share with people that might be positively impacted. All right, until next time, bye for now.